guys, today we have something exciting for you. We're unboxing and reviewing 8BitDo's new arcade stick. Now, we were originally trying to get the original one that came out a few years ago.
Right.
That was $79.99. This is going to be $89.99.
It was always out of stock and we didn't know why.
Yeah, so I'm glad we waited though, because this has a lot of nice features that we're going to get into.
It was out of stock because they were working on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to get into it right after this, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, so let's get into it. First up, we have the 10-foot USB Type-A to USB Type-C for charging and to use as wired. And this is really nice because it's 10 feet.
Yeah.
So I think of the NES Classic where it was like, I don't even know if it was
maybe it was
1
like
foot.
it was 2 feet or 1 foot or something.
Right, so you had to sit right on top of it. This, you might be able to get to your couch with this one.
Yeah.
So that's definitely nice that they provided one that's that long. And then obviously you have your little manual as well. And that's pretty much it other than the unit itself. So we're gonna take that out here. Here we have it. My first impression of it was really, I like the color. It really has like that NES kind of vibe with the red and black and gray.
It's like if the NES transformed into an arcade stick, like a transformer.
Right, yeah. It's really cool. And it's really heavy. It really feels premium. It has like a nice heft to it.
Nice weight to it, yeah.
Yeah, they actually put metal plates in here to give it more weight, so as you're playing, it doesn't move around.
Right, if you have it like on a tabletop or something, like in front of your system, it's not gonna slide around as you're doing the moves and stuff.
Right. And also, to help it stay put, is these nice thick rubber pads.
Yeah, rubber feet on there.
Yeah, so during our gameplay of it, it stayed in place. It didn't move. It was very nice. And then, so the button layout, first you have your mode switch, and that is either switch, obviously for Nintendo Switch, off, or X input. Now X input is for any other device that you're generally going to hook it up to, your Android devices,
PC. Yeah.
Next up you have your control stick switch. This is where you can switch from left stick, D-pad, to right stick.
Depending on the game, that'll come in handy. So more versatility for more games.
Right.
Yeah.
Next up we have the pair button, which is going to be the button that you'll use to pair to all your devices via Bluetooth. Then you have your turbo button, which is actually a really nice feature. So you have turbo, basically what you do is just hit whatever button that you want to assign turbo to. Hit turbo, and then it'll assign to that button. So that's really nice. And you have a number of buttons here to choose from.
Yeah, kind of like the cheap way to get through some games. You can have the turbo in there and some of those little 8-bit games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so next you have your home button. That's going to get you back to your, if you're on the Switch home, or your Android device, get back to the main page there. So that's a nice feature as well. And then you have your LED light indicator. That's going to show, if it's paired, pairing, charging, stuff like that. So LED notifications for that. And then you also have your connection switch. So again, based on which way you're trying to connect, you have Bluetooth or you have 2.4 gigahertz. Now, just pushing the switches, they're actually really nice.
Right.
Like it has a nice smooth transition there.
And you're sure that you're in the, when you're in that mode. And it's nice that they included the 2.4 as well, because there's less latency with the 2.4 and there's more with the Bluetooth. But you have the compatibility for both, so that's really nice they included that.
Yeah, and even just these little dials here, they're very nice. It's very, very well made.
Yeah.
And so next up you have your select and your start buttons as well. So over here to the right, you have two buttons at the top, P1 and P2. Now those are going to be for macro assignments, so different button configurations that you want to map to a specific button. You can map that to either P1 or P2, so that's really nice. I was thinking like in Smash Bros. To do some of like the specialty modes and map it to one of those buttons.
Special combos, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously you have your joystick and you have your 8 regular buttons here. Now, a cool feature about this is it has a visual display, so based on what input you're in, it's going to show the button labels.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you have your switch button labels, and then if you switch over to X, you have basically the buttons that you would have on like an Xbox controller.
Left trigger, right
like
trigger,
that.
left back.
Right.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
So that's really nice. So you know what buttons you're playing with there.
Yeah, and it just kind of gives it a more premium feel that you have that illumination. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's really nice. So also on the back we have a little hidden compartment here, which is really nice, and that houses a 2.4 gigahertz receiver. So that you have that there.
Nice little storage compartment.
Yeah. And you also have the port for the USB Type-C for the wire connection or charging.
And then you also have this wire management hole, so you can have that flush mounted when you have the 10-foot cable, and that looks pretty neat.
Yeah,
tidy.
it almost looks like it's built like a built-in kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty tidy.
So very nice. Now this thing also has a lot of features. As we mentioned, it has the dynamic buttons to show you a visual display of your button mapping with the button labels. And it also has the ability and support to work with the 8BitDo Ultimate software, which you can download from their website. Now this is gonna be where you can do all your customizations for your buttons. Every button on here you can customize with the software, so that's really nice.
Yeah, really
so
cool.
The customization is above and beyond.
Yeah, whatever you come up with, and you can map it to this. So that's pretty cool.
So that's definitely nice. And you can also create a number of profiles. So if you want a separate profile with different button mapping for Street Fighter, or in another profile for Smash Bros, you can do that, and that's another nice feature. Also in the software is where you can do your macro assignments, so you can do your button combinations and stuff like that, and map it to the P1 and P2 buttons. So compatibility, this works with a number of devices. It works with PC, Switch obviously, Android, Raspberry Pi, Mac, and I think it's even, I heard that it works, you can get it working with certain adapters with the 360.
Yeah, Xbox with other consoles you have via adapter.
Yeah, Xbox. So a lot of versatility and compatibility here. There's also a number of ways to connect to. Bluetooth 2.4 gigahertz and wired with a 10-foot cable. And it's really easy to. Bluetooth 2.4, even wired, like it's basically plug in and it immediately pairs.
It's pretty easy process.
So it's really nice. You know, sometimes Bluetooth devices aren't always easy to get connected.
Yeah.
But this we had no problems with. Another cool feature with this is the ability to mod it, and it's really simple too. On the back you have 6 screws, and so you just unscrew those, pop off the top, and then you have access to replace the buttons, the joystick. The joystick has a universal plate, so pretty much any joystick.
Right. Mounting plate, you know, you can Sanwa, Sumetsu, HAP.
Yeah.
You can upgrade this to your liking, you know, because everybody has different preferences. I think this will be good for most people. But there are some nicer ones you can get. But yeah, this will be good for most people. But you know, just have an option to upgrade that, and the fact that they made it where you can mount those different types of buttons and sticks is really cool.
Right, yeah, and again, the buttons feel fine. I have no problems with the buttons as I was playing. I had no problems with them. Again, they don't feel as nice as the Sanwas or the HAPs, but the nice feature is you can mod this, and you can put those in there, and it's really simple. Yeah,
so if you want some silent buttons, you can get those. That's silent Sanwa, and then get a hat bat for the joystick if you're used to playing that, you know, instead of like the ball. That you can do that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And the battery for this, at 2.4 gigahertz, you can get 40 hours of gameplay, and with Bluetooth, you can get 30 hours of gameplay. So you get a decent amount.
Yeah, pretty amount in between charges, yeah.
Right, and it only takes 4 hours to charge as well, so that's really nice.
Yep.
So now let's get into some gameplay. While playing Smash Bros. On the Switch, all the buttons really work great, and the arcade stick stays solid and in place. With Switch games, the buttons are already mapped for you, but again, if you want to change things around, you can remap your buttons in the 8BitDo Ultimate software program. If you're playing on the Retro Pi, on certain emulators you will need to go into the menu of the emulator and set up your button mapping there. But as you can see here, this controller works really nice for fighting games, and is also great for your retro and arcade games as well.
In Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection on the Nintendo Switch, playing Street Fighter 2, I'm using Ryu, my favorite of course. I'm a bit rusty, but I'm able to pull off Hadoukens, Hurricane Kicks, and Shuraikens no problem. The stick and the buttons pose no problem to performing the special moves. If you want the arcade experience, I would change the R button to Heavy Punch and the ZR button to Heavy Kick in the Game Controls menu, or set a game profile in the 8BitDo Ultimate software for Street Fighter II. Overall, the 8BitDo arcade stick works great for Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection on the Nintendo Switch.
So final thoughts. What I like is, again, the NES vibe. Like, I really like the color scheme of this. It really looks nice. And it really feels like a premium arcade stick. I mean, it's got those metal plates, so it's not going to move around on you. It's got the nice rubber feet, so again, it helps with stability and so it stays in place. And the customization is really awesome. I mean, again, you can pretty much customize and change any one of the buttons on the arcade stick.
Right.
And also, again, the buttons are decent. Like, I have no problems with the buttons. They didn't stick or anything like that. They're a good set of just, nothing fancy, but they're good buttons if you don't want to customize.
Yep.
Some things that we didn't like, especially for me personally, the gate. It's a square gate. So in Street Fighter and certain other games, I just didn't feel like I had the movability that I wanted.
Right, to pull off some of the custom quarter circle moves, you'd rather have a round gate.
Yeah, a round or like a
octagonal.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a little bit better. Also, the ball actually moves, and I didn't have an issue with this playing like Street Fighter or Smash Bros. But what I did do is load up Pac-Man on Android tablet, and I struggled to be consistent with my movements. Like, I was, Pac-Man is like quick, right?
Right.
But the ball was kind of like slipping in my hands.
Quick
and
direction changes they were getting.
Yeah, it was kind of affecting that. So that was another problem that I had. But again, like, you can replace the joystick, get one that's not going to move on you, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Another thing I don't necessarily like is in regards to the hidden compartment again. It's really hard to get your USB Type-C plugged in. It's pretty deep in there, and with the adapter, you kind of need to take the adapter out and plug it in, but even then, it's so deep that it's hard to...
you have smaller hands and still have it.
Right, so it's hard to get a grip. It's a small complaint, but it's still an issue, especially if you're always going to be doing wired, plain wired, then it could be a problem. If you're just charging it when it needs to be charged, it's not that huge of a deal, but still something to note.
Yeah. All right. So at $89.99, you get a lot of features for that. I mean, you could get like a Mayflash Elite with the Sanwa is going to be like 130. So this is 80. I think a Mayflare without it is 80. And I think those are a little bit more compatible with more devices. But I like, again, like, you have all the stuff you can connect this with. I mean, Mayfair is connectable too, but I mean, I like the NES look of this, and the light up button mappings and that kind of thing. Yeah,
and I think you can still stay below that $129, $130 price by just getting some upgraded Sanwa. They don't have to be the best. I found like a pack, I think it was like 6 buttons and a joystick Sanwa for like $40 on Amazon.
Yeah, we got 8 buttons here though. So
and
at least 8. And
we can also link some of those down below if you're interested as well. But I mean, I think it's worth the money. Yeah. I like it.
And like I said, for most people, this stick and button is going to be fine.
So those are our thoughts on 8BitDo's new arcade stick. We'll leave links down below if you're interested as to where you can buy them, and let us know in the comments below what you think. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.